we're going to look at creating skills, how plugins and connectors work, really, really high level on that one. How skill management works. So creating, validating, and maintaining skills, and picking a useful starting point for ourselves or for our company. And so, we talked about this last time, but the goal isn't to, automate the entire company in one shot here. We're trying to look for repeatable processes and turn them into something that your Cowork can run consistently for us. And so, before we jump into creating our own skills, this does come with a bunch of different skills out of the box. And so, Cowork can create Word documents, it can create spreadsheets, create PowerPoints, create PDFs. It can email for us, schedule things, give us calendar briefings, create Teams messages, give us daily briefs. So what we can anticipate for the next day, for the next week. It can also do deep research and, a lot more. And so it can find the information for us. It can create, it can coordinate the work, it can research, and then it can also be extended with skills and plugins. And so quite a bit different from just random prompting. The power is not just like using one app here. We're able to use Cowork across the Microsoft 365 environment. Just briefly, we're not going to go deep into plugins today, but they're going to be more and more relevant. This is a fairly new feature. So a lot of what we do isn't just in Microsoft tenant. We're using CRMs, accounting software, HR platforms, project management tools, and the like. And so this is where plugins start to come into play, as they can connect to these different tools outside of the Microsoft environment. Like just as an example, if you're, for me, I do a lot of work in sales, so I can have Cowork generating, follow-up emails or responding to different things, but I can have access our CRM to find out more information on our clients, the different activity dates and all that kind of stuff. So it's like an extension of Cowork, and then we can create skills in Cowork to tell it what we want it to do in the CRM and what information we want. But just because we can connect to it doesn't necessarily mean that we should. My partner's very good at like saying we shouldn't do that to me. And so you got to make sure, like, is it smart to allow it to have this look at this data? What should it be able to do? And who's approving that kind of thing? One of my favorite ways that I have, or my favorite uses for Cowork, and this is like a very basic thing that I use it for, is I have an AI news briefing every morning. And so I have Cowork scan the internet for major AI news and create a report for me. And so I don't want, 10 random links, going to Google, trying to find all the information. I want a very useful briefing. So what happened? Why does it matter? Is it relevant to our clients? Is it relevant to Microsoft 365, cybersecurity, Copilot, or business operations? So this output is it's a PDF report that I can scan really quickly. And it's a really great Cowork use case because it's repeatable, it's research heavy, and it's useful in a consistent format. And so it used to be, me just Googling or, in ChatGPT or Copilot, what's in news AI today? What is new in AI today? And so the, operational version where I'm standardizing this is now Cowork is just running scheduled every single morning, search for major AI developments, filter them through the lens of our clients and our business, then create a concise PDF briefing. And so I've got that consistently coming into my mailbox every day. And then now I have all of those records, so I can start to use Cowork to even, if I want to build a newsletter on that information, or I want to build a webinar, like I've got all of this in consistent format that I can reveal. Alrighty, so most people, and I think we talked about this last week or the last couple of weeks, we're still using AI randomly, and it's still really useful in this way. So we're, creating emails, we're summarizing documents, we're asking it to write a report for us. But Cowork becomes much more interesting when we move from random AI usage to operational AI usage. So instead of, help me with that task, we're looking at, here's how we do the work. Now help us do it consistently. And so that's really what the skills are for here. It stops us from re-explaining the work every single time. Now, this is the part that can be a little bit, that a lot of people miss, or, the common misconception is like, Cowork does not magically know our business processes. It can be very obvious in our heads, the way that we do our work, or the way that our clients do their work. It is not obvious to AI. And so AI does not know the process until we teach it. If we have like a standard operating procedure, that is really great. That's really great source material. We can upload that into Cowork when we're creating the skill. If we don't have an SOP though, it doesn't mean that we can't create the skill. We just have to teach it and show it through how we actually want the skill to be executed. Not so much high level. We're actually doing the skill with them. So, a few different things of what starts the work, what information do we need, what decisions get made, who reviews it, where does it go next? And so the process mapping is really the heavy lift, the upfront work, and then maintaining it becomes easier because it's very easy to edit the skills, which I'll also be showing you in a little bit here. One of the other benefits about this is we're not just building a Cowork skill, we're actually making our business process clear. Like I'll have like 100 different ways in my head on how to create a proposal. And so this will help me standardize that and make it more consistent every single time. So one of the ways, and we might get into this today, is an example of how we want to be using a skill or creating a skill. So we have our product AlphaPay, and we're doing demos once, twice a day. And so at the end of the day, I would love to have Cowork just reviewing all the AlphaPay transcripts. So I can create a prompt, or I can schedule this, or I can run it manually at the end of each day. It looks at the transcripts, identifies each prospect's pain points, current AP process, objections, and next steps. And then it uses our create proposal skill to create a consistent proposal that we can then put into our CRM. So this is a strong candidate because it's repeatable, it's context heavy, it's revenue adjacent, which is nice, and it's going to be safe with review. But yeah, so there's different things that we have to be looking out for, like putting that information in. So, what counts as an AlphaPay demo? What is the information that is really important? What should the proposal include? What tone should it use? So all those different questions that we need to be thinking about as we're creating that skill. All right. And this is where, this actually makes all of this very, very easy. There's a skill within Cowork that's called the skill management skill. And basically it creates, validates, manages personal Cowork skills and instructions. So we don't have to start creating a skill as like a technical exercise. Basically we run the skill, which I'll show you in a moment. And then it asks us a bunch of questions and we go back and forth with it. And we build the skills that way. And so it's really, really easy to use. But where we can, the thing that's really good, the thing that I like about this the most is, it's building a skill is very easy. It's managing all of our skills. That's the discipline. So if everyone creates vague, duplicate, or like half useful skills, we just have this mess of crap in Cowork and, these different platforms. Like I can do really bad for this. I can create a bunch of skills thinking that I'm going to be using them, and then they just sit there and kind of clutter my field or whatever else. So the goal is not to have a pile of random prompts. We want to have useful, maintained skills that match how we actually do our work. Alrighty, so we'll go live here. Pull up. This was a skill that I created last night. And so last night. And we have a leadership meeting every 2 weeks. And we track some of this in a different piece of software, but I was thinking it would be nice to have like a report that goes out before the meeting, and then also a report that we can look at once the meeting is wrapped up. And so all I did is I started off by saying, I want to create a new skill. And then it immediately starts to use the skill here, skill management. And so, it's asking me what kind of skill do you want to build? And then it has 4 different options. And so I said, automate a reoccurring workflow. What specific workflow do you want to automate? Walk through it briefly. It had a few different options, but again, it is doing the majority of the heavy lift here. Like, it's really, really straightforward. I could probably be putting in a little bit more detail here, but we get down to that down here. So, what's the most important thing this brief should contain? So action items, open commitments, recent activities and threads. And so right away, within like a few seconds, it gives me this skill.md. So this is a markdown file. It's written the skill for me, and now I just need to review it. And so it's really important that we go through these to make sure that it's generating a really great skill for us. And I didn't really give it any context, so it didn't have everything that I was looking for. But for a first run through, it was really great. And so then it asked me, would you want me to write this as is, or do you have anything to change? And so I added that I wanted it to be sent out to the people in the meeting, that I wanted the transcript to be reviewed more thoroughly, and that I wanted it to also have a post-meeting follow-up. And so from here, it actually generated the skill once again, and we're much, much closer this time. So I was happy with how it looked. And then it actually gives you a score on how your skill is. Okay. So, it'll give you some different areas of improvement, and it will also show you how to trigger it. It's not super you don't have to use these exactly, but this is how it recommends spinning up the different skills. So I asked it to run the skill right after here. It ran it. It did a really great job. But then I just noticed that it would be nice if it also ran the alpha branding skill to make sure that the document is consistent with our brand guidelines. And so that was me editing the skill. Now it's updated, and it had a really, really great output. And so really, really easy to create these skills, and a massive time saver. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show here is, pop over here. So we'll say, I want to manage my existing skills. Just as a show of hands, how many people here have used Cowork skills yet? Okay. So this is all new stuff. Okay. Is it making sense so far? Okay. Does everybody have access to Cowork within their Copilot instance?
Yep.
Yeah.
I got it. I was actually just looking for it because it was there when I opened up my agents last week, and then it was gone. So then I had to go search it for it, but I got it.
Been messing with you. Okay. So right away here, I've asked it to manage my skills. I want to take a look at them, and it gives me all of the different skills that I've got in my repository. And so what I would like, so it asked me, it's funny because the output's a little bit different than when I was going over this last night. It asked, would you like to audit all of them for quality scores? So I can say audit all my skills. And so it will actually, give me a performance score for each of them. It'll give me the different issues that I need to fix so that the skills will run better. And it will just help me manage these better. Because again, we don't want to have like a whole bunch of these on our in Cowork, cluttering things up. Now, I guess one thing that I should probably there it was here. Yeah. So it'll audit it, and then it will also just give me, the biggest issues, and then the different ways that we can improve them. And then I can just tell it to actually fix all of my skills, and so that they're going to be used effectively. Okay. So that I can do that right from there. Now, I guess it would be worth showing here, like if you ever want to use a skill, all you do is you can either, if you know the skill off the top of your head, you can do it right from here. So you can say run my skill management skill, or you can put in your skills right here. So you do a forward slash, and then you have access to all of the different skills. Okay, so you can choose which one you want to use. You can schedule them from here. You can do any number of things. All right. So I
Hey,
thought we
DJ,
could,
sorry, do you mind if I just ask a question?
shoot.
So with the meeting one that you set up, you
Yeah.
showed that there was a trigger. So I guess you go into it, you'd be like, hey, whatever the trigger phrase is. Can you also
Yeah.
just schedule it to do like at the end of the day? So like at the end of the day, can you just summarize all the meetings that I've had?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you could set that up as a skill. That would be ideal. And then you're telling it exactly how you want it. I could also just, shoot that into Cowork from here, like run a brief from all my meetings yesterday. And so, you could start with this, and then it could, you could start to tailor how you want it. And then you can say, now make this into a skill and run it at the end of each day. Yeah. Yeah. And it'll schedule it for you. I think I read this somewhere yesterday. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that you can only have like 10 scheduled skills, and then we can also only create 50 custom skills. But yeah, okay. So the other thing, just to kind of show you this in action, if we wanted to create a new skill, you can say run skill management, and let's create a new skill. And writing these things on the fly, you never really know how they're going to go. So I figured I would show you one that I did yesterday, and then we can kind of create one together here. All right, so right away you can start to see it working here. It shows you the skills that it's running. So let's design the skill together. And so I talked about this one before. I want at the end of each day to essentially start to create the proposals from all the demos that we're doing from that day. And so I would put it as generate a document deliverable. And so right away, again, it's like prompting us with different questions and helping us build the skill. And so we can create it as a Word document and recurring same template every time. And so, as you can see, like it's very, okay, let's see. So proposals for our alpha phase demos each day. And data sources are Teams meetings, transcripts, and emails. So yeah, you can see like very, very straightforward to create these skills. And the real leverage here is that it does have access to all of our Microsoft applications or tenant, everything that you have access to in your Microsoft tenant, it can access and start to create these documents. Has anybody used Claude Cowork here? I think there's one yes, and okay. So same idea. It's just now we've got access to all of our Microsoft information, and so I don't think that I'll go through this entire. You get the idea, though. Creating skills really straightforward. You can also upload different like source materials, and so if for me, I could upload a copy of a proposal, so that it knows what the formatting should look like. Okay. All right. So I'll pop back over here. All right. So yeah, it's and again, I went over this last week, but Cowork isn't the answer for every workflow. We use Cowork when it's personal or team level. It's flexible, review based, and there's not like a heavy compliance part of it. We use Copilot Studio and Power Automate, or even some other tools when the workflow is organization wide, if it's touching multiple departments, or needs stronger governance. And this matters because some processes do need more structure, and I just wouldn't recommend this for that specifically. So, like if a workflow is touching a system of record, it's changing data, triggering approvals, or involving multiple departments, then I would lean more towards Copilot Studio, which is also a great option. So this is really good. Cowork is really good for repeatable knowledge work. But it's not a replacement for every automation platform, because this is individual to our own accounts. We're not we don't. There's not like a database or anything like that where our coworkers can access the skill, and so it's very specific to our own work kind of thing. So here's what, like, where I would start. It's not so much, what can we automate? Like, that shouldn't be the first question. It's a little bit too broad. I'm going to be doing another talk later. It's like, okay, where are we already using AI casually? Like, where are we using AI with different tools? Where are we copying information between systems? This is a big one. Like, where are we using AI where there's like sensitive information in tools that might not be approved, where we're trying to automate some of our work? Where are we repeating the same prompt over and over again? Like, like that daily brief at the end of the day would be a great example of that. So that's a really big one as well. Where are we missing follow-ups, handoffs, or next steps? Last week we did a client onboarding example. Employee onboarding is another one. We're sending payroll forms, we're sending, TD1s, all that kind of stuff. So that's another really great place where we could use this. And where would this improve our client experience and also our team experience? And so, the goal isn't you saw me, I had the 20 skills. I used 3 of them. So we don't want to be creating just a bunch of skills just for the sake of doing it. We want to do, one at a time, stuff that's going to have, provide a lot of leverage for us. Alrighty. And that's it for, creating Cowork skills. Does anybody have any questions on this?